My name's Brennan. I'm a musician, and I'm also the product manager for Singular Sound. You can find me on the forum, where I help users make the best of our super awesome products. For this video, I want to talk about our two most recent updates, version 4.0.1 and 4.1.2. In this update, you're going to find a new feature called Dynamic Read. You can also find the cancel recording feature, which is a pretty cool, neat feature that makes it so you can use the play stop all button to cancel the current recording or overdub at any time. Another really cool thing about this update is the incredibly smooth, legible font that we added. The MIDI release update. We have the very first MIDI expansion. This has a whole plethora of new commands and the highly coveted MIDI song select. That's right, you heard me correctly. The Aeros now has MIDI song select. Now you can open any song in the Aeros just using MIDI. Without further ado, let's begin. All right, so let's talk about what we got going on here. So right here, we have the Aeros, which is connected via MIDI to the Beat Buddy. Then we have a little MIDI synth, which is being controlled through a tablet with this MIDI controller, right? Right off screen over here, we have our MIDI Maestro, which is controlling Beat Buddy and the Aeros. So Dynamic Read, what is it and why do you need it? Let's start off with why do you need it? We all need more time, right? Nobody's got time for that, right? So we all need more time. So we wanted to make sure we could give you as much time as we possibly could so that you can get all your ideas down and not run out in the middle of your idea. It's honestly way better. So let's talk about specifics. Why is it better? Why is this a cool feature? So you have a considerably larger amount of song memory to work with. And let me explain how that happens. So basically, what it does now is it loads saved WAV files from the SD card or the internal memory dynamically. What does that mean? So when you open a song, the first thing the Aeros does is it loads the first 10 seconds of every track. This makes it so that when you switch parts at any time, there will always be the first part of the track loaded, right? And so what we do with the rest of the track is we load it as time goes on, as the song is playing back. And that's what makes this dynamic read. It's dynamically loading the audio from the SD or the internal as the song plays back. And this frees up the RAM to continue recording, even though there's other things playing back. We've dramatically increased the capacities of how much you can record and what you can record here. One awesome thing about this feature is you technically have endless overdubs. You heard me correctly. Endless overdubs. And this is how I can make that claim. Once you save, you will always have some more time left over to overdub. Even if you've used all of the time possible for all 6 tracks in a 6x6 song, you save, you will still have some overdub time left. So, don't forget to save. Let's do a little demo of what I was just talking about. So I'm going to start my Beat Buddy over here, and that's going to start my Aeros. Take note of the recording time, how it says 20 minutes here. We're in mono. So I'm going to start. Stop that. All right, 1935, right? I'm going to save it. 1943, look at that. We got some seconds back. Obviously, doesn't seem so impressive right now, but if I recorded a 20-minute track, I would still have about that much left. Pretty cool. All right, so next up, cancel recording. Pretty cool little feature. So let's go into our settings menu. Cancel recording. Right underneath MIDI in start, right? So turn it on. What does this do, right?
If you ever need to know, we actually have some helpful info icons here, so you can always just click that and find out. But since you have me here, I'll tell you what it does. Basically, we have users that tell us that when you're recording, so let's say I record something really quick, I could hold to undo, right? But you already heard what the problem with that was. When I pressed, because it's responding on the press, I still hear it play back a little bit, and then the undo acts later, right? So it's not a perfect system, and we hear you. So we came up with a slightly better way of dealing with this. So basically you record something, and if you have this feature on, you just tap the play stop all, and it's undone. Simply record again. You messed up? Not anymore. So that pretty much is the cancel recording feature.
4.1.2. Why are we excited about that? Let me tell you. We're super excited because we finally have MIDI Song Select coming. We know that everyone has been waiting for this. And if you don't know what MIDI Song Select is, let's say the Beat Buddy opens with a certain MIDI Song Select, right? You can open a song on the Beat Buddy and on the Aeros independently just with one command. Along with the MIDI Song Select feature, which is highly coveted and really needed by a lot of our users, we also have a MIDI expansion. There's two things to the MIDI expansion. First off, we did a complete revamp of the MIDI engine, made the Aeros able to do more with the commands that we have, and allow it to have a whole bunch more commands in the future. So we really increased the scalability of our MIDI functions, for one, and we added some really cool new MIDI commands, which you can actually find the list to on our forum. The link will be in the description below. I can actually show you how we do that. So just edit the song, scroll down. You can also scroll like this. Scroll down. You see I already have it on here. You can turn it on, turn it off. You set it however you want. Hit save. Voila. So now let's move over here. We're going to look at the MIDI Maestro. I actually loaded a mode from my phone onto the MIDI Maestro. And so what I've done here is I've kind of laid it out a little bit like the Aeros with two extra buttons, which would have been nice, right? So we have the play button, which also switches to stop. Next part, RPO 1 and RPO 2, I switched them. I know some users prefer to have would have preferred to have the RPO on this side for the top track. Well, you can choose if you have the MIDI Maestro, right? And so I have it here laid out like that. I can save, I can delete. I can also switch. When I start, I can mute and unmute for both tracks. So pretty cool. Okay, so that just about wraps up the features included in the last two updates, but really it just scratches the surface of all the things we've done in these two updates. If you'd like to find out more about what we've done and keep up with us and keep up with what we're doing next, please go to our forum. Come say hi to me. You can find me there. You can find the link to our forum in the description below. And have a great one, guys. Keep rocking.